Good morning, everyone. This is Kendall Askins from Stimulating Minds. Askins Stimulates over on Instagram. Please like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube. We also have obviously the Instagram and the Facebook page. So whichever one of those platforms is the best platform for you, I'm going to just ask that you like and subscribe to those pages so that you can have access to our content. And pretty soon some of our special programs and things like that will be placed on those pages. So I want to be able to jump right into what we're going to talk about today. And these topics recently have been topics that I'm learning these lessons, as we are speaking. So these are not things where I'm just kind of talking or speaking theoretically. These are lessons that I'm going through and I'm learning, right? So as I'm learning, I am one that I love to share. I love people to be able to learn those lessons and to see those things without maybe having to experience the pain, or maybe if you have had to experience the pain, maybe at least this would be something that will help you get through something. Okay. So good morning, Denise. Thanks for joining us. So today I want to talk about grace. And grace is one of those topics that can be a sensitive one. We don't always necessarily want to give grace, right? Grace is, the definition of it is around this idea of like just letting things pass, letting things fall, letting it be, right? Even when somebody does something, it's like to show grace is almost like you give a pass, sort of say. I saw this quote and it said, when you understand that people's behavior has to do with how they feel about themselves and not with you, you learn grace. And that was something that was really powerful for me, because I had to sit in that for a second, right? It's so easy that when people behave however they behave, and this doesn't necessarily mean a malicious way. It just could be a way that doesn't sit right with me, or it could be kind, it could be anything. But when people behave how they behave or interact how they interact, it's very easy for us to take it personal. It's very easy for us to think that they are directly interacting with us because they feel something towards us. And that might be the case sometimes, but I would venture to say that it doesn't have to do so much with how they feel towards us to how their interaction with us is triggering something inside of them. So when I interact with people and I come from a place or understanding that this interaction or how they're responding or how the interaction is going is a direct reflection on how they're feeling about themselves in that moment, or something that I'm doing is, bringing up some type of emotion, whether good, bad, whatever, I learn grace in that. And it allows me to do several things, and it'll allow you to do the same things. It'll allow you to let go, right? It'll allow you not to take things personal. So as they are looking, if you're remembering, this doesn't have to do with me as much as it has to do with something that's being triggered inside of them, you can not make it about you in that moment. And being able to do that allows you to show empathy as well, right? It allows you to be able to, think about it from a place of understanding. It also allows you to evaluate where you stand, with that person, or how those interactions make you feel. Now, I want to be very clear. If you're in any type of abusive relationship or abusive encounter, whether that's physical, emotional, mental, I am not saying that you should stay in that, right? And I'm not saying that you need to try to really understand the person. You need to get out of that situation. Good morning, Jaja. But if it is something where it's just a regular interaction and maybe it's not going well, it's something where you can begin to show empathy or grace, understanding that what you're doing or saying is triggering something in them. It will also allow you to discern what's coming. I've been in situations where people have been having conversations with me, and the things that they are saying, it doesn't necessarily sit right with my spirit, right? Maybe I disagree with it. Maybe I'm listening, but I don't think that would be something that would work for me. And what having grace allows me to do is be able to realize that when people are speaking, they are speaking from their lens and their experience. So sometimes they are sharing out things that will not work for you, because even though their lens and their experience, they might see some parallels or they might see some similarities, it's not the same thing. And when we don't come from a lens of grace, we will often push back, or there'll be a fight back, or, we get upset maybe, right? Having grace allows you to discern what you need to take in and what you can let fall. And so I want to add that when I have begun to shift my mindset to approach my interactions from this standpoint of wanting to show grace, of not necessarily taking things personal and not wanting to allow the interactions that I'm having with people trigger me. Again, and I've spoken to you guys a lot about when I recognize that an emotion is coming up in me, I really try my hardest not to push that emotion out on somebody else, but to pause and think about where that emotion is coming from and why I'm feeling that way. Again, allowing me to show grace to the other person and not to lash out or to respond in a way where I'm taking what they are saying personal. I often come from a mindset that people don't always show up negatively. You will be able to know if someone is trying to be malicious towards you. You will know if somebody is trying to hurt you, because that will be crystal clear. But if people are often, my experience has been that people often are not trying to do that, right? People often are trying to engage, trying to help. I always assume good intent unless you show me that you're not. So for me, while this is very subtle, it's very powerful because it's inward work that can be done. Showing grace to others, understanding that they are not showing up necessarily negative, but showing up from their lens, allows me to learn, grow, take in information, discern, and it allows me to let go of how they might have made me feel in a moment, or what they have triggered inside of me. And it also shows me what more work I have to do. So I hope that this was helpful. I'll say share this video out. Comment. Let's hear where places maybe where you have showed grace, or what other ways you're thinking that you can show grace, or maybe if you have shown grace, how has that helped you in what you have done? So I encourage that. I'm looking forward to those comments. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and I'll see you guys back here next Wednesday for more fun. Bye.